All right, so let's take a look at a scene. Now, we've kind of jumped around in this movie just because
No, we would not do that, Tim.
Usually we kind of go in order, but we don't always. And this one, we're definitely not. This one is going back to a scene during the attack on Noah's village. So I just want to hear, it's a short scene, and they grab the elder of Noah's village, and here's what happens.
He, the elder.
There's the big gorilla.
For Caesar! Caesar! Take them to Proximus! Find the human!
The graphics are ridiculous.
The CGI is so good. It's very, very realistic looking in how they do things. So that's like the general Proximus, Caesar's right-hand man. And what's he claiming? That they're doing this for Caesar. But we just heard what Caesar's teachings were from Raqqa.
Yeah, and
that was that ape together strong.
Yeah,
and apes shall not kill apes.
Right.
And yet they're not together. So they're not strong, and they are killing other apes. That tower that you saw that was inflamed, that's where Noah's father is, up there with where the eagles are at the top. And so you can kind of guess there. So they're not following Caesar,
but they're doing it in the name of Caesar. And that kind of reminds us, you think about one of the common arguments against Christianity is that, well, people in the past have done horrific things in the name of Christianity. You think about the Crusades or different people even today who will bilk people out of money in the name of Christianity or use bad interpretations of particular biblical passages to basically steal money from people.
Or even domestic violence. Like the husband basically the master and he can do whatever he wants.
True toxic masculinity.
Absolutely,
that's unbiblical and not right. But they do it in the name of Christianity, or do it in the name of Christ.
And in the movie, the apes don't have like this written language as we talked about.
Yeah.
So who decides what Caesar actually taught? Well, we get to because we saw the movies. But but who's ever louder, right? Whoever says the message.
Whoever's in power.
Yeah, that's right. Who's ever in power and can say, here's what it really was. But no, Raqqa is actually the one consistent with the earlier movies.
Which, by the way, if you abandon absolute truth and there is no absolute truth, it does come down to who has the most power.
Right.
That dictates what is right in a given society. And so we just want to say that just because people have done bad stuff in the name of Christianity in the past and even in the present, doesn't mean Christianity is bad or wrong. It means people are broken and wrong.
Right. And you can find that with just about any group that's out there, that certain people have done horrible things in the name of such and such.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is because it's a bad ideology.
True.
But sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's just you have these corrupt people who are working that out.
Well, I mean, think about it. If I did something bad in the name of math, it doesn't make math itself bad.
Although
unless it's like calculus or something like that.
Right, some high schoolers right now are like, yes, it does.
Math is terrible. It is evil.
Math is a really cool thing.
My daughter would say that, yeah.
And so it just means I'm broken, I'm sinful, I will use something for my sinful purposes.
Right.
I think our point is, it's not consistent within the Christian worldview.
Right, so for example, Jesus says in Matthew 5:44, but I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Well, what happened during the Reformation? Which, we can be, I'm not a Catholic, I'm Protestant, I'm thankful for that the Reformation happened.
Yeah.
I'm not always thankful for every single thing that happened during the Reformation, because you had, not only did you have Catholics persecuting and killing Protestants, you had it vice versa.
Sure.
You had both groups doing that to the Anabaptists. In fact, one of the reasons they're called Anabaptists is they thought, adult believers' baptism, and both groups were like, you want to be baptized again? Here's your third baptism, then drown them.
Yeah.
Now, that's not loving.
That's awful.
If you view them as your enemies,
Christian.
that's not, that is, even though they're thinking they're doing that in the name of Christ, that is not in the name of Christ. So you had, some of them being burned at the stake, some of them who were being drowned, and even one of their theologians, Balthasar Hubmaier, wrote a book called On Heretics and Those Who Burn Them. And it's like, this is not the way to respond to people who, to fellow believers, one.
Yeah.
But to anybody, as Christians, we have to do better. But we can't run from our history.
Right.
There have been horrible mistakes made by Christians, and so we don't want to run from that. We can acknowledge it and say we have to do better. What should we be following? How about we follow what God has told us in his word, rather than here's what my favorite leader has said, here's what my favorite theologian, here's what my favorite church is. No, let's go back to God's word and let that be our authority. So Matthew 5:39-41, so the same chapter, Jesus says, but if anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn from the other also. And if anyone would sue you and take your tunic, let him have your cloak as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them 2 miles. He's not saying respond with violence and wipe them out because they disagree with you, or because they said something wrong about me, so therefore you kill them. No, that is not what we're commanded to do. So don't let hypocrisy among Christians, bad behavior among Christians, or keep you from the truth of what Christ has taught. Don't let that keep you from the gospel. And
go to the source. What does the source say?
Right.
What did Jesus actually say? How did he live? What does the Bible say? Read it in context, and you'll see what the truth actually is.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly right.